Hi, welcome back to Good Morning Transfers. Right, Juventus are trying to sign Manchester United for Jadon Sancho. Talks over personal terms, not thought to be a problem, is thought to have taken place already, so that's all fine. Juventus trying to do a deal at the start of the window, but they couldn't meet the valuation. Dave, have we got to this point?
It's been quite a long time, and I feel like we've been talking about Jadon Sancho quite a lot. We've got 7 days to go. He's still a Manchester United player. This all goes back to pretty much a year ago this week, when he made his final or last appearance in the Premier League, at least for Manchester United, against Nottingham Forest. And then there was the fallout when he was left out of the squad. I think it was for the Arsenal game. And there was a disagreement between Sancho, Erik ten Hag, meant that he was out of the picture firmly. And then he went on loan, of course, to Borussia Dortmund in that January transfer window. I think, for all intents and purposes, you would say that move was a good one for him. He obviously played in the Champions League final. Back to Manchester United this summer. Question marks were, could Borussia Dortmund afford the fee? The answer was no. Back to United, and then we learned last month that he had pretty much buried the hatchet with the manager, and he was back in the plans for pre-season, played a bit of a part. Missed the opening weekend this year with, I think Erik ten Hag said it was an ear infection. And now we're talking about him again and possibly leaving the club with Serie A a possible destination.
Manchester United reportedly remain in discussions with Juventus over the possibility of including Douglas Luiz in a deal which would take Jadon Sancho to Turin. Juventus are viewed as the red-hot favourites to sign Sancho this summer, but there is still a lot of work to do when it comes to a potential move for the ex-Manchester City youngster. Sancho spent last season on loan at Chelsea, scoring 5 goals and registering 10 assists in 41 appearances. But the Blues could not come to an agreement with the attacker over a permanent move. The 25-year-old will not play for Man United again, and the 20-time English champions had allegedly been hopeful of gaining in the region of £25 million by selling him this summer. The English club's asking price appears to have now dropped to £15 million, and the old lady is said to be optimistic of winning the race for his signature, with an agreement over his wage packet thought to be close. According to Tuttosport, Man United are admirers of Juventus midfielder Luiz, and the Turin Giants could potentially use the Brazilian in a swap deal for Sancho this summer. The report claims that Dusan Vlahovic is also an option, with the Red Devils keen to sign a new striker, but the Serbia international is not thought to be on their radar at this moment in time. Man United's interest in Luiz dates back to his time at Aston Villa, with the midfielder proving to be one of the most impressive midfielders in the Premier League during that time period. Luiz, 27, scored 22 goals and registered 24 assists in 204 appearances for Villa, but he has found it difficult to make his mark at Juventus, failing to register a goal or an assist in 27 outings in all competitions last term. Therefore, Sancho and his fellow misfits have all requested transfers, and Ineos will be hoping to satisfy their wishes. But while the other outcasts are still facing uncertain futures, the former Dortmund and Chelsea star appears to have found an appropriate destination, with Juventus making major progress in their attempts to sign him. The Bayern Canary have been in talks with both Man United and Sancho over the past few weeks. Many sources in Italy and England believe that the Serie A giants have already struck an agreement with the player's entourage. So the final hurdle is to reach an accord with MUFC on the formula and transfer fee. Nevertheless, Juventus are seemingly on the right track to do so, at least based on the latest reports circulating in the Italian press. According to La Repubblica, via Tutto Juve, the Turin-based giants are now ironing out the final details in their agreement with MUFC. Hence, the two clubs appear to be one step away from finalizing the deal. Nevertheless, Juventus insist on finalizing the transfer before their pre-season begins on July 24th. Previous reports expected the two clubs to settle on a transfer fee in the region of €15 million. Sancho would certainly welcome the opportunity to leave Carrington for good, as he never truly proved his worth after joining United in the summer of 2021 for £73 million. In fact, the winger often produces the goods when playing his football elsewhere, as evidenced by his 2 stints at Dortmund. As for his Chelsea spell, it may have ended on a low note due to a subpar second half of the season, but at least he had managed to impress early on, earning praise from Ian Wright, who lauded his amazing displays.